Today on Judge Faith, she says that she likes to help people, but has she gone too far?
That is not
Yes,
true,
you
Your
called
Honor.
me. You called me and said I had already made the payment. You said technically you couldn't move me to the second bedroom unless that was paid. So you paid it. You slapped 6% interest on it. She paid it before even asking me.
Is that true, ma'am?
And later, they called it puppy love.
I told him, you know what made the trade? The dog. That's the icing on the cake.
I was giving him the dog for free.
Had he seen your car at that point?
Yes, I drove it to his house.
I looked at his car. If mine was such trash, why did he take it?
Well, because it was his car. You all traded cars. He can do what he wants to.
Faith Jenkins. Her distinguished legal career began when she graduated first in her law school class. She quickly became a tough New York City prosecutor, and then a preeminent legal analyst on cable news. And now she's the judge in her own courtroom. Her cases are real, and her rulings are final. She is Judge Faith. Plaintiff Yvonne Woods says she loaned the defendant money and moved him into a bigger apartment, but then he left the property without paying a dime. She is suing for $2,491, the amount of the unpaid loan. She is accompanied in court by her husband, Stephen Woods. Defendant Dwayne King claims the plaintiff should have stayed out of his business and not paid his back rent without consent, so he owes her nothing.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, we have Woods versus King.
Thank you, Barbara. Yvonne Woods.
Good day, Judge Faith.
Hi, you are suing the defendant, Dwayne King.
Yep.
Is that how you say your first name?
Yep, Dwayne.
All right. You're suing the defendant for $2,491. You say he owes you the balance of a personal loan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how do you know him?
Dwayne moved into the building that I manage and have been managing for 20 years.
It's an apartment building?
It's an apartment building. And in February of 2013, he moved in. He kept his rent very well. He paid his rent up to September. He fell behind. And he came and he told me that he was having problems. And I said, well, look, let me try and help you. I've got a lot of contacts, because working in the apartment building so long, I've got people that help other people that need help.
How long have you managed the apartment building?
20 years.
Okay. How many apartments are in this particular complex?
In this particular is 58 units.
And you manage all of them?
Oh, yes.
So you started falling behind on your rent because why?
Child support was at around $1,500 a month. So
How many
for
children
one
do you
little boy.
have?
One.
How old is your child?
He's 4.
Okay.
So basically, I fell behind on rent. Yvonne, the first thing was when I moved into the place, there was a number of things that were supposed to be done. You know, the carpet, the painting, there was leaks in the sink, there was windows that weren't fixed, there was a dishwasher that was out for a year I didn't have. I mean, just nothing ever got done. I mean, it was ridiculous.
So how did it get to the point to where you started lending him money?
Well, what happened was when he told me his story, and I felt very...
How many months had he fallen behind on the rent?
He had, by the time I lent him money, he had fallen behind about 4 or 5 months. So he was already owing $2,350.
Okay.
And what happened was, I told him he wanted to move into a 2-bedroom. If my building was so bad, Your Honor, why do you want to move to a 2-bedroom in my building?
I'm under a lease.
So anyway, what happened was I said to him that unless he pays the rent for the 1-bedroom apartment, I cannot move him into a second
Unless he gets caught up
two-bedroom.
on the rent,
yes,
right?
He's got to get caught up on the rent. So he said to me that he can't, and he came back and he said to me, well, he's going to win custody of the child, but he's got to have a 2-bedroom apartment. So I said, well, look, I'll pay your rent for you, but you will have to sign a promissory note.
Okay.
And he said, yes, he would go for that.
Mm-hmm.
And he signed the promissory note, and I said to him, I'm also adding a one-time 6% interest fee, because I told him if he can't pay it every 100, I'll allow him to pay $20 a month. He could pay it off.
Okay, may I see a copy of the promissory note? So did he ever pay you any of the amount back?
Not 1 penny.
Does he still live in the unit?
No, he skipped out on me.
How did that happen?
What happened was he moved into the 2-bedroom apartment in April, the 15th of April, I didn't even charge him rent for a 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom. I charged him just for a 1-bedroom. And then in May, I only started charging him for a 2-bedroom apartment. And the first month he paid his rent, a little bit late, but he paid it. I didn't charge him a late fee.
So how did he skip out on you?
And then what happened was a resident came to me and said, "You better watch out, he's skipping out on you." I said, "No, he would never do that. I know him, I've prayed with him, I've helped him, I've been through with him." I said, "He'd never do that."
I mean, I'm signing
And
paperwork
they said
under
to me,
stress.
and they said to me, "Yvonne, he is skipping out. You better wake up."
So
my
he
girl."
moved out.
A week later, I said to my husband, "Stephen, go and have a look what's happening."
Because of continual
Okay,
harassment.
so let me get to you, because I see a loan agreement here. It's the original document. You say that she's going to loan you $23.50 and that you would pay back $24.91, including $141 in interest. So why haven't you paid anything back?
Coming up on Judge Faith, did Yvonne loan Duane money to appease her guilt?
She did it out of
She
guilt.
gave this
She
to
did it out
you
of guilt.
and did this. She gave you $2,400.
Without my
That's at a
permission,
minimum.
with a
No, I'm
compounded
speaking.
interest.
And later, plaintiff Alan Gutierrez was promised first choice of a bulldog puppy.
Your word is not enough for me. What proof do you have that the puppies were born stillborn?
Just what I text him.
Okay, that's not good enough. What happened to the puppy, sir?
Plaintiff Yvonne Wood says she loaned the defendant money to pay his back rent, but then he left town and has not paid her back. She's suing for the amount of the unpaid loan. Defendant Duane King claims he didn't give his consent for the plaintiff to pay his back rent, so he owes her nothing.
I haven't paid anything back because nothing was ever fixed. I mean, nothing.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. This agreement says nothing about anything being fixed in
Right.
your unit.
This agreement
It
was
just-
like slapped on my lap. I got a phone call. This payment that she
Oh, it
did
was
to the
forced on you?
landlord.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
She paid
when
it.
people force money on you?
She did.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
I was forced into the situation.
$2,491 was forced on you. That's what you're telling
Well, I
me?
got a call saying that she had already paid
How
it.
was this forced on you?
Because she paid it before even asking me.
Is that true, ma'am?
Your Honor, that is absolutely not true. He came to me and he said to me, when I said to him, "You can't move until you pay the 1-bedroom apartment's rent," you can't.
So you then came to the agreement at that point that you would pay
At that point,
it, correct?
I came to that appointment.
And you wrote
with
him out a check?
I've got the check right
May I
here,
see a
Your
copy of
Honor.
that? And hi, who are you, sir? Her husband?
Yes.
You have something you want to say?
Yvonne sent me down to go and speak to Duane, because his tenant phoned her and told her that he was moving out. I went down and I spoke to him. I said, "Duane, what's happening? Are you moving out?" He said, "No." And I said, "I wish people would mind their own blooming business, because everybody's got interfering." And he was just moving some furniture, that's what he said. So I said, "Oh, fine." And I went back, and that was the end of it.
He was gone. He moved out of the
No,
building.
No.
he didn't move out that day.
About 3 or 4 days later, somebody told us, one of the tenants said, "He's not there, he's gone." I said, "No, he can't be gone."
Well, there's other underlying issues why I left too. It wasn't
So I went
just
and got the
maintenance.
keys, and I went up to that apartment, opened it up. He was
Everything's
gone.
gone. And no, you got no notice.
No notice.
Why did you do that?
whatsoever.
And
Okay, the reason is I had complaints into the landlord. Obviously, we had a tenant on the 3rd floor who would continually knock at the door at all hours of the night. I mean, it was like Miss Doubtfire trying to handle an apartment building. It just didn't work.
Really?
It was
Really?
that bad.
You know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I have a woman here. God bless you.
Thank
Okay?
you, Your Honor.
Because you don't. She's not related to you.
No.
She doesn't owe you anything.
No.
She doesn't have to do anything for you. I
Right.
believe every word she's saying, and I think you are an ungrateful little weasel
No.
who left in the middle of the night without paying a debt. That's what I think. Okay? How dare you come into this courtroom and disrespect her? At a minimum,
When you don't
she
fix
gave
things?
you $2,400.
Without my
That's at a
permission,
minimum.
with a
No, I'm
compounded
speaking.
interest?
You're listening. That's at a minimum. So all I need you to come into court and say, "Thank you." That's what I need you to come into court and do.
I'm not there.
Thank you Mrs. Doubtfire. That's what I need
But
you to
I'm
say.
not. But there's nothing to be thankful when you're harassed every day. I mean, you're harassed. This harassment
Let me tell you something.
had been going
Let
on
me tell
for
you
2.5
something.
years.
You're pathetic.
2.5
You're
years.
pathetic. You owe her the money. $2,491, judgment for the plaintiff. And you know what? I am grateful that there are still nice people on this earth that reach out and help other people. And good for you for getting it in writing, getting your contract in writing, because there are people like him who will come back and try to take advantage of you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Plaintiff Alan Gutierrez claims he traded his 1962 Chevy Impala for the defendant's 1964 Chevy Impala, but the contract was not fulfilled. He is suing for $3,700, the value of stereo equipment, rims, and the cost of an English Bulldog puppy. He is accompanied in court by his wife, Araceli Gomez. Defendant Richard Apodaca claims the plaintiff's car engine was bad and says he never signed any contract. He's countersuing for $3,200, the cost to replace the car's engine.
Mr. Gutierrez, you are suing the defendant, Richard Apodaca. The two of you were owners of Chevy Impalas. You had a 1962 Chevy Impala and you had a 1964?
Yes,
Correct, Your Honor.
And you decided to exchange these cars
Correct.
in an as-is transaction.
Correct.
And then there ended up being a lot of conflict about the transaction that you agreed to.
Correct.
So you were suing for $3,700 for the cost of stereo equipment, rims, and the value of a puppy you say the defendant promised to you.
Correct.
And you were suing for $3,200 for the value of an engine and some other things you said didn't work in the car that he traded to you,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we will start with you, Mr. Gutierrez. And first, I realize that you're wearing sunglasses today because I understand you have a medical condition and that's the reason. Normally, we don't permit that in court, but because of your medical condition, we're allowing it today.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Gutierrez.
That's not even real. But, Your Honor, this person, I can't even call him a man because he's not a man of his word. We had a written agreement. We traded cars as is, and I have a contract here.
How do you know the defendant?
He approached my friend. My friend had my car parked on the side of the road. My friend called me and said, I have a person interested in trading. And I told him, you know what, I don't want to trade. I want to sell it. He says, well, he says he has a lot of brand new parts, a lot of brand new chrome parts. You should maybe go check out the car. I went to his house to check out the car. I didn't like it. He said that he had $8,000 worth of chrome parts. So he takes me inside his garage. We're looking through parts. I just don't see the $8,000 worth of parts. I see a British Bulldog puppy, and I tell him, oh, that's a beautiful dog. I love Bulldogs. And he says, you know what? If you make this trade, I'll give you a Bulldog puppy. And I told him, you know what?
Had he seen your car at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
He had seen the car that was parked. I drove it to his house. When I told him I would make the trade, I told him, you know what made the trade? Oh, he said, oh, the parts, right? I said, no, the dog. That's the icing on the cake. I've been wanting to get my kids a dog, and they were so excited that we named the dog Bowser.
And so did he agree to that?
Yes, I have that on paper.
Okay, let me see the
I have a
contract. Hold on a second. So let me just understand this. So you enter into this agreement with the defendant, and there are three things you expect to get out of this.
Yes.
His 1964 Chevy Impala,
Correct.
a puppy, a Bulldog puppy,
First pick.
First
of a
pick
British Bulldog puppy.
of a British Bulldog puppy, and also chrome parts.
Chrome parts.
Explain the chrome parts
The
part to
chrome
me.
parts, it was all the pieces for the bumper, interior chrome parts.
So he would get additional
grills.
chrome parts to put on the
Yes.
car that you were getting from him.
Correct.
Okay, let me hear from you. What happened?
I never agreed to put any chrome parts on. We're here today over a dog that wasn't even born. I had two dogs that were born that he knew about that came out stillborn. And I told him, I wasn't even charging him the dog. I was giving him the dog for free.
Coming up on Judge Faith, did Richard sign the contract or not?
Yeah, that's the first I've ever seen of it.
You don't remember signing the contract?
Never signed
in
nothing
the
of
front
it.
of your house.
I've never
on the
signed
hood
anything.
of your car.
Plaintiff Alan Gutierrez claims his family was devastated when the defendant didn't deliver the puppy. He is suing for $3,700 and the cost of a Bulldog puppy. Defendant Richard Apodaca claims he never agreed to giving one of his puppies to the plaintiff. He's countersuing for the cost of the traded car's engine repairs.
Is your testimony here today that you never... How do you even know what I'm looking at?
I don't. He sent me a text of it.
Okay, and you're saying you never saw that document, you never signed it.
It does not. It's not even my signature.
You're
on
under
there.
oath.
All right,
lying.
sir, I'm just gonna stop you there because I don't wanna waste any time today. The plaintiff submitted to me this stack of text messages between the two of you, and I do what I'm supposed to do as a judge, and I do my due diligence, and I read those text messages. So you can come in here today and perjure yourself and say that you didn't sign this contract and you never received it, but I've reviewed your text messages. I know you did, and I know you signed it. So you can do that con game all you want to in the street, but it's not gonna work here. You signed this contract, and it's a valid contract.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very true.
And I'm not even gonna go through all these text messages and explain to you how you know that, but I absolutely know. So he knows the truth, I know the truth. You can stand there and lie all you want to, but you signed this contract. Now I want you to tell me what happened to the bulldog.
What do you mean what happened to the bulldog?
What happened to the puppy that you promised him as a part of this agreement? This agreement states not only would you exchange cars, but you would also give him the puppy, which is worth between $1,500 and $3,000. What happened to the puppy, sir?
The puppies, the two puppies that came out were stillborn. He knew that.
And what proof do you have of that?
I actually texted him to it.
You
if
texted
you have
him
the
what?
texts, I
You
texted
texted him what?
That the two puppies that came out were
No,
stillborn.
your word is not enough for me. What proof do you have that the puppies were born stillborn?
Just what I texted him.
Okay, that's not good enough. Hi, who are you?
I'm Alan's
Can you
wife.
step up to the lectern, please? What do you have to add to this case?
Well, basically, okay, if he owed us the dog, you know, like how it said in the contract, okay, he can't control what happens with dogs, basically, but if the agreement was that you owed us a dog, then the most common thing to do is get us a dog, find us a dog somehow. I mean, if you couldn't get it from your pregnant dog, you know, sort of say, how do we know that he didn't sell him? You know what I mean? How do we know that he was just like playing us the whole time? Because he was giving us the whole runaround for months and months and months. My kids went to go see the pregnant dog that he had. So here you go.
Kids didn't go inside your house?
So here,
sir.
don't
speak
even,
to him, please.
yeah. So it's like if that was part of the contract, he should have just complied with the contract and did either give us the money so we can go buy a dog or find us a dog somehow, because that's why we're here, because he wasn't a man of his word. He couldn't, like, everything he was saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, I'm not gonna let your kids down. Oh yeah, I'm a man of my word. You're not a man of nothing.
What happened to the chrome parts? What happened to the chrome parts that
got all
you
the chrome
promised?
parts
I
to it.
got all the chrome
He got all the
parts.
chrome parts.
Okay, so
to
that
it.
part of the contract
part
was
was
fulfilled.
fulfilled.
So the only part that wasn't fulfilled was the English bulldog puppy, and you have no proof that those dogs were
what
born
I did tell him, if you
stillborn.
read the texts, is I did tell him that we did breed again. I told him I'd be happy
I don't
and more than
trust
happy
this
to
man.
give it to him.
No,
You know,
I'm
she's
waiting.
pregnant again. You know,
I don't
he
wanna do it.
agreed
Well, hold
to
on
wait.
a second.
He
Hold on
agreed
a
to
second.
wait.
At what point did you
Hadn't
tell
agreed to
him
wait.
that? At what
Before we
point,
came here.
Excuse me.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Okay, what's your counterclaim about?
No, no, I mean, just that, you know, I mean, I took a loss just on the engine. I'm not crying about it. I can't
No, because
control.
you traded the car as is, but
As
you also
is,
have a binding
exactly.
agreement. What I don't like, and the reason why I am addressing you the way I am, because after reviewing these text messages, he reached out to you for months about this puppy. You responded with all these different excuses. Then he starts talking to you about the contract. Your response is not, what contract? I don't know what contract you're talking about. No, your response is, I don't have a copy of the contract.
I don't.
You only have a copy. So let's see what the court has to say about that.
Yeah.
Because you think you're trying to be slick.
No, I'm
and I
not
can
trying to
read
be
these text
slick.
messages and I can tell because you think you don't show up to court with your copy of the contract, I'm going to believe it doesn't exist, and I don't believe
no,
it.
that's
You
not
owe him for the value of the bulldog, and you're going to pay. On your counterclaim, 0. You traded the cars as is. I do find in this case in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. We did our research. That is a value of a newborn British Bulldog puppy. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.